Mark worked as an inspector for the environmental committee. He liked the job, but the pay was small. His college friends who went into business were already driving expensive cars and wearing expensive suits. And Mark lived from paycheck to paycheck and really wanted to be like them. Once, he was sent on a business trip to a small town to inspect one chemical plant for air emissions. From day one, he found that the air purification system was outdated, and the emission standards exceeded the permitted limits for harmful substances. Mark pointed this out to the director of the enterprise, and he replied that he knew about it. The director suggested that they meet in a restaurant and discuss this issue. "You see," said the director, "our company can't spend so much money on new cleaning systems. But in a couple of years, we'll definitely do it." The director also hinted that if Mark changes the data in the report and makes a record that they comply with the standards, the company will thank him. At the same time, the director moved a napkin with a number to him. Mark said nothing, but the number of zeros on the napkin stunned him. They left the restaurant and said goodbye until tomorrow. Mark had to bring verification protocol for signature before returning to his committee. Mark walked the streets of the town and smiled. Now he could buy himself whatever he wanted, and most importantly, he wasn't doing anything terrible. That's how he convinced his conscience. After all, the city has lived with such emissions, it can live for a couple more years. After all, if it hadn't been for Mark, no one would have known that the company was polluting the air. Mark made a mental list of the first things he would buy. It was a new car, an expensive watch, and an Italian suit. But at that moment, he saw a girl. She stood not far from Mark and was suffocating. Her mother squatted next to the girl. She was looking for something in her purse, and then she took out an inhaler and handed it to her daughter. The girl took a few breaths. "It's all the plant's fault," the woman said. "When is it going to become known that they're polluting the air? I can't wait for the day when we'll leave this town." The girl and her mother left, and Mark looked after them for a long time. He stood and wondered if he could drive a new car, wear a watch and a suit, knowing that children were sick from the plant's emissions. Mark went to the director of the enterprise and put down his report. The director looked at the numbers and asked in surprise if they hadn't agreed with Mark on the results. He also wondered if Mark needed to increase the amount of gratitude. "Spend this money on new cleaning systems. And do it faster. Otherwise, you'll get a fine that you've never seen before." The director nodded in dismay and signed Mark's report. 3 months later, the company installed new cleaning systems, and the air in the town became cleaner. And Mark realized for the rest of his life that the best jewelry for him is a clear conscience, and not a Swiss watch and an Italian suit. Be honest with yourself. Live by your conscience.